Mike? Can you give me the volume okay?
Yeah.
So the idea of this and the way it was structured was for us to go through some of the elements of what it takes to run business and the challenges. And then we've just given you a practical example in different walks of life, by different generations, in different areas, finding that customer needs. What I want to do now in this 1 hour, 10 minutes that we have is to bring this thing to a close. I will start by addressing first how, and you started talking about it, how do you get the money to finance your business or to scale up? And when you go to do that pitch that Tim talked about, what are people looking for? My dream, actually I have people working on it now, is that I want to have a group that when you sit down and people have good ideas, to be part of the group that invests in those good ideas. What would they be looking for? That's what I want to do. And then we would arrange things quickly. I've asked someone in our group that understands really how to register businesses and the kinds of things that go on to give us what I call the ABCs of how you do that. So that within here, hopefully, you have an element or sensitivity of what it takes really to go and think about and move forward. I want to go back to what Sister Tapo said about stocks and investments and all that. I found that most Africans, what we know in terms of how we invest, which is great, is to invest on properties and have renters. Because sometimes it works. We had several in Michigan. Some other times when you have bad tenants, it doesn't quite work as well. And you have to think about that. But the stocks and bonds and all that, I have invested in them. I said when I started this business that I'm not getting money from the business, but I'm getting money from all those stocks and bonds. And when you look at it, so we can get into that. I will touch on that when the next session, when I talk about how do you build wealth. There are different ways. And how do you preserve the wealth? And how do you pass on that wealth to the next generation, or to the foundation, or to the things you want to leave as legacy? So let me talk through this real quick. The financing opportunities that you have. There are some financing opportunities if you're starting a business that people don't know, or people don't aware of. One of them is, for example, how you deal with your vendors or suppliers. Some suppliers would say, hey, when I turn things to you, you need 30 days to pay me. If you have established trust and confidence, you can go to that supplier and say, instead of paying you in 30 days, when you're starting, can I pay you in 60 days? And when they agree, essentially they have financed you for 1 month. Can you get that? So those are one of the other ways that you can look at, as you're going through. The other one is, if you have good peanuts and you are going to make it and people place order and you have good relationship, can you ask for some advance payment? Did you get that? So it's still financing, but it's other forms of financing based on relationship and based on trust. So you go to your vendors, your suppliers. Remember we talked about the value chain. When they are coming in, can I take a little time to pay you? Instead of paying you completely, can I pay you in increments? That's one form of soft financing. Or the people that will buy business to business, can they advance some money to you? Especially if you have a mentoring advocacy relationship, they will say yes. Do that, we know you bring it back. So that's one way I want you to explore, to look at. The other one is high net worth individuals. If you look at the Jews, and you look at the Indians, and some other group, they have such trust that they can go among their community and tap into some of the people that essentially have extra resources. But they don't go with the intent of just, they go with some form of accountability. So you can do that. That high net worth individuals can be members of the fellowship, can be members of the family, can be people in the professional network, but it's finding those people that have discretionary income, that you can put together that business model. Please, please, if you're talking about business and you come to people that think like me, don't just come and say, the Lord said to me to do this. I would say, oh really? Okay, may the Lord bless you as you do it. But if the Lord said to you, now you do the homework, now you plan it, and now you scale it. You start in phases, in smaller numbers. So you can find it. The other one is that you can find loans from friends and family. You know, the thing about loans, so let's be very clear. When you go in, I had I told about my sister, my niece. So I was coming and they said, Uncle, buy a laptop for us. And almost every time I go, I bring a laptop. So this one, they said, when you come to Nigeria, I'll pay you. And Lord, I said, really? I said, yeah. I said, sis, here is my account number. Have them pay it in, and I will bring the laptop. And some people will come and say, loan. I said, okay, remember the pig and the chicken. Yeah. So if somebody is taking a loan, what is the collateral? So when people come and say, are you really asking for a loan, or you want this money and return? If it's loan, if you don't pay, what do I hold on to? My brother, in the name of Jesus, you seriously say that? I said, so you are asking just for this thing to go and you wouldn't see it again. So if you're borrowing for someone, you want to go in and it's this person and you want to talk to them and say, can I borrow? Tell them how you're going to pay for it. If you're going in to someone, you said, I have this business, I will pay you in a week or two. My question would be, if I really care, what would happen between now and 2 weeks to get this 10,000? Do you have something that you placed on? Those are the kinds of accountability that we need to establish within ourselves. You need to start it first as you go in. So it could be loan, it could be investment clubs. I know some SCF group, brothers that have gotten together, they have investment club. Every month, they put in certain amount of money in that investment club. And they have people among them that run it like an investment club. And you can come in and pitch your ideas to them. And if your ideas make sense, they give you the seed money. They could be the angel investors, or they could be people that scale it. So it is all around us. If you keep going, there is the equity financing. There are microfinancing. The idea is that if you are going to scale up or even to start, you have to work for it. In fact, there's a brother here that he and I talked about looking into technology. Actually, we almost invested in a technology firm in Nigeria. We went in. That's the other thing. If you're going to ask people to come and invest, have an honest assessment of what is your company worth. Have an honest, and in fact, we get to a point where we offered $150,000 to getting into this business, and we offered what percent of that company we wanted to pay. First we started with 100, we went on. At the point that what they wanted to do, I said, are you telling me that your business is worth X amount? We ended up at some point withdrawing from it. But have an honest assessment. Go in, there is venture capitalists. They don't only give you money. Many of them will give you, actually what you need is not only money, but a sense of direction and operations, coaching and mentoring that leads you to the next level. He talked about grants from UGA. So there are different sources of funding that would be out there to get you. The key is that you are the one making a pitch. The responsibility is not on the person that you are going. The responsibility is on you to convince them that you have a good idea and that your good idea can work. People are looking to invest. But they want to see that good idea. They want to see that you understand the risk and that you can mitigate them. Where do you find those people? I use the word here. You can find them in our fellowship if you do your homework well. But don't go to intimidate them with too much quoting of the Bible. Impress them with your business plan. Impress them with what you have done. Impress them with your record. Impress them with where you made a mistake and you understood where the mistake was and what you're going to do to solve it. Otherwise, when you come and you quote all the Bible, say, oh, brother, God bless you, we'll pray for you. Which means I'm not sure what you're getting into it. Just find a way to move on. But when you lay out a good plan, or be honest where you don't understand, where you need help, then you begin that discussion. You talked about to build your network. Finding people of like mind where you're going, depending on the business that you have. And mine is professional consulting services. By God's grace, I have a solid network in that area. Build that network. There are meetings where they pay, and there are special investors, business events that walk through, where you go in and get exposed. Starting and owning and running a business and asking someone to help you is hard work. When you come in, the vendor doesn't know you, and the other national groups do that. In many cases, you may not have the credibility to go and stand before an investor or a group. Find someone that has the credibility. Have them make the introduction. Be in partnership with them. Let them lend their credibility to the business. But you have to be fair. What do they earn by lending their credibility? Because that's social capital that they built over many years. So there are various in different places. The banks, the internet, there are many. If you go into the internet, especially for the younger generation, that's what they call crowdfunding. Have you heard about GoFundMe? Yes. Put up good ideas. My point and my challenge to you is that what is stopping you is not really lack of funds. It's lack of good ideas. And if you have good ideas, what is stopping you is the interpersonal discipline to sit down and put that idea to paper. That's what Tim and his friend are doing. They went in, they have good ideas. They were some they thought were good ideas, but it's good ideas, but it's not good business opportunity. You move on to the next thing. That's what you find about entrepreneurs. They don't get stuck. They try something, it doesn't work, they learn from it, and they go to the next level. So the whole idea is that depending on the nature of your business, there are different opportunities that are out there. And I'm also twisting it around and saying, let's be like the other national groups that do well. And the Jews, and they do that by also creating a pool of people that can honestly look at things and either give the state money, or if the place is at a place where it needs to scale, and to help the entrepreneur find out what is the right expectation for people to come and invest. So when you go to ask an investor to come in, what are they concerned with? You have all these slides here. No. First, they want to ask, is there a good business opportunity? Not only is this a good idea, not only is it Christian, not only is it from Nigeria, not only is it from the same village, is it a goodness idea? Then they want to find out from you, do you understand the risk of what you're going through? So you're calling me or you're calling somebody and you say to them, let's go to Nigeria and do X, Y, Z. They want to then listen to you. Do you understand the risk? Do you understand what the other culture, whatever is there? If you come in and you list the whole of the risks involved, and you say, but here are the ways I am going to de-risk the business. Here are the ways where I will mitigate that. Then they begin to listen. They want to know what are the returns and rewards. When I spoke to Nigeria once, I said, that green dollar is always, it doesn't make a difference. It's chasing where the biggest opportunity is. It's understanding that. That's what the Indians did. You know this outsourcing to India? You know part of how it started? When many of the Indians, as they got into the corporate world, they didn't become the CEO initially. They became the directors, people that make the decisions. How did they steer the jobs to India? They didn't steer it because they were Indians. They gave a business case. if we move this job to India, it will be much cheaper. And then they worked to create the enabling environment that is out there. When South Korea was manufacturing and people were laughing at them, many of the people from South Korea insisted to invest in their products. Until their companies, if you remember Kia and all that, what did they start doing? They started giving 10-year warranty, bumper to bumper. What did they do? They de-risk the business. Today you see their business. And I'm saying there's nothing that stops us. If we begin really to challenge ourselves, it is very good. These are what investors are looking for. What do they want to know? They want to know, have you done your homework? Do you have a plan? Do you have a proof of concept? So let me talk through that. So you start in what they are doing, Tim and his friend. What they have is called the peanut. Proof of concept. Have you tried it to prove that it can work? God gave you an idea. Great. How have you begun to demonstrate that it will work? The investor wants that. He wants to say, show me that you are taking time to think about it, that it actually can work. Because I do not, there are Indian investors, people that start very, very early. They said, if you just have an idea, bring it, but they don't invest a lot. They allow you to get to this point of proof of concept. I have an idea that really works. Do you know the risk and have you outlined how you will mitigate the risk? I already talked about that. Do you have skin in the game? And that's that chicken and pig. What would you give up to achieve this business plan? Do you have the skin in the game? If you're going into a private investor and you say, this is a $2 million plan, but I have rallied with my friend or a smaller group, I've already raised 500,000 in 1 week. What do you think they will do? They want to listen. Because they're going to say first, if you've already raised, do you have skin in the game? And there are different ways of putting skin in the game. The skin in the game could be your knowledge base. The skin in the game could be the key relationships that you're bringing. But an investor wants to know that because they don't want to put all their money into it and they are left holding an empty bag. So ask yourself, what will be my risk in the game? They want to know, do you know your strengths and weaknesses? Do you know what you're good at? Do you know your weaknesses? How are you working on it? Are you open? And the one that we left and abandoned, at some point we found that the young man was not really open to new ideas. He is more open to being the CEO. Are you open to new ideas to take it? Because when you are inviting people into your space, you're making yourself vulnerable. And now you are wanting to the place. Actually, great investors, the thing they give you is not to, it's really the great ideas. It's really to help you move your operations. It's really to help you make quantum leaps. At that point, it's not just about the size. I mean, the portion of the pie is growing the pie much bigger. They want to know, can you make a good business partner? And what they do is that they watch you. They watch how you make your decisions. They watch and it's very true, but if you come in and they ask questions, and the first one, well, in the name of Jesus, it must work well. Okay. The next question, I'm telling you as I was sleeping, I saw that dream, it has gone. It is not my portion. They will just look, okay, let's think about it. And that might be those things, take it and now find the business terms to express themselves. Do you understand that? I'm not saying you shouldn't latch on to that. It's how do I now transform it in a way that it can make business sense? Do you need to talk to people that have done that? So that's what the partners will want. This is called hockey stick growth. So that's what the scaling up is. So at the initial things, they are working. Some investors invest in different times. Some of them want angel investors. They want to help you at that beginning to create the ideas, to come to proof of concept. Now, when you want to scale up, they are looking to say, how can I catch this business when it's going up dramatically? And for my sister and some of us, or some of the people that want to invest, you want to look, you want to listen, you want to ask a lot of questions, and when the company gets here, you are ready to explode. I want to encourage you. I know I'm going really fast. The idea is that the money is out there. Chase them with your good ideas. Chase them with experience. And if you get no, don't just back down. The front door is closed, look for the back door. The back door is closed, look for the window. The window is closed, ultimately go to the ceiling. It's not, go to the chimney. The more you continue to go on, somebody will be out there. Many businesses that succeeded, they pitched it many times to different people. And they got no many, many times. And I want you to listen to this. Albert Einstein, he said, great spirits have always encountered violent opposition from mediocre minds. That's what she was telling us. Did you do what? Your masters and you're selling granuts? Does your parents know that? I bet that's our style. That's really our style. But the key is the idea. The key is the confidence and the tenacity and to bring something in a new space. We're going to go now to the, I've rushed this through, but let me stop because we're still doing good. And I'll come back to wrap it after Brother Joe. I've asked Brother Joe to come and talk about a little bit of how do you register business? What are some of the things that you can find? But before then, if it's okay, can I take one or two questions on how you find, capital for your business?
Questions?
I know it's hard in this place. That's why I'm moving for us to
Good afternoon. Thank you
Yeah.
very much, Dr. Nwankwo, for the session so far.
That's an electrical engineer. She married one of my former staff, and he hasn't come to the house to bring mine.
So,
Thank you for coming.
thank you, sir. Actually, my question goes back to understanding your value chain. So, what is the value chain for service providers?
Okay.
So, in your line of work of consulting or engineering service providers, what would you say would be your value chain?
Okay, that's a very good question. So I do consulting, and what I sell is a brand. Part of the value chain in there are different levels. I have support services that help me, the IT, the people that keep the records and all that. They are part of my value chain. And sometimes what people do is that they buy in those. So they have where I worked before, we have IT inside the house, all those support services. I don't have them, but I contract and outsource those and get them in. So that's part of that value chain. The other part of it really is also the people, let's talk about staff. I see them as part of, in these professional services, as part of the value chain. So how did I structure mine? I talked about that you need to keep your costs down. So I have key critical staff now that work with me as true staff. The other ones, I have what they call 1099. And when I was talking to Andy, I was very impressed. He knew what 1099 staff means and W2. Permanent staff and what we call independent consultants that I tap in when I need. And some of them even have their professional jobs. They may want to try this. In medicine, you call it what, locum? Yeah. Okay. But all of those are part, depending if you're doing professional services, they are part of their value chain. The other part of my value chain is actually the customers that I deal with, and how and when and where I meet them, and the opportunities I have to market with them. So it's that through understanding where would my staff come from? Where would my business come from? Where would my support people come? Part of my value chain also in professional services, for example, there are a lot of prospecting that needs to be done. Before somebody becomes a client, I need to engage them early. Where do I engage them? Pull all that together. If it's in the peanut business, where do I get the peanuts? Where do I get the things that support it? Where do I get the ingredients? How reliable are they up until when I deliver it? And even when you deliver it, she talked about going back and understanding the ultimate customer, the person that is the peanut. What do they think about that? Is that happening? Okay.
Here's a question for you. Okay. I have the desire to do a business in Lagos or Ibadan, in Nigeria. But with the current state of affairs in Nigeria, how do you overcome that and still make this dream happen?
Great. It depends again what the dream is. So if you want to do business in Lagos and Ibadan, visit Ibadan and Lagos. And when you visit them, don't just visit them to do pancake. Visit them to do the homework of what Lagos and Ibadan looks like. Understand the market in Lagos and Ibadan. There's a lady that is in hair products in Africa. One of the things she told me she's done now, she had been going to try to get her product and has struggled. And now she's Ghanaian. She said, what I have found out now is that it's better for me to use an established company. In Ghana, I will become the manufacturer and supplier. They understand the distribution system, and they will take it from there. So, depending on what the business is, first of all, is to understand Lagos and Ibadan, and ask yourself, why Lagos and Ibadan? Could this product or what you want to do be better in Abuja? Where is the customer? And then to ask, what would it take to get this business going in Lagos and Ibadan? It will take you understanding how things are done in Lagos and how things are done in Ibadan and who does it. And if you don't have the right strategic influence, how can you latch on to the people that do that? I am beginning increasingly to think for myself that in any of those places, it might enable you faster if you can find a strategic partner in Lagos, in Ibadan, wherever it is, that also have strategic influence. Because at the end of the day, it's how do I achieve credibility quickly in Ibadan and Lagos, what I'm saying. And if it means hooking up with someone who already has that entry in Ibadan and in Lagos, that would be one way to do that.
Thank you very much.
Effective way.
Thank you. The other thing I would say is if that business is new entirely to you, I would advise you start here. Yeah. Because here you can measure a lot of things. You can insure the business in case something happens. You have the legal backings. You have a lot of things, and the data, it's readily available here. And then it's easier for you to go and duplicate it in Nigeria or anywhere you want to go. Plus, whoever you're going to talk to in Nigeria to be your partner there, you already have an idea how successful and the obstacles you went through in the US. And then you can scale it back to Nigeria. That's what I would advise. But if you're going just blind with new business in Nigeria, be very, very cautious.
And many times we blame Africa too much for our ignorance. You wouldn't have come from Africa and just come land here and start a new business. It would not be easy. First, they wouldn't understand you and your accent. Two, you wouldn't understand the taxes and how to register. You would just start your thing only to be found that you can't keep going. So it's really that. You're raising your hand, sir. You raised your hand.
Yes. Did you?
Yeah, you did. I saw him.
Yes, I just want to ask a question about competition. Let's take the Akara fryers on Enrich. Somebody started that, and by morning time or within a week, you have 20 others, frying in the same place. So how do you overcome the competition?
Good question. I have mine. So you're selling the same thing to everybody. Actually, there's a book I read. It's called Breaking. I have it in my book, but it's essentially a similar thing to retail. You have very different retail people. The question is, how do you distinguish yourself? I would say it really comes down to customer service. Maybe it's a smile. The one I read in the book was retail folks, and the idea was, how do you distinguish yourself? There is now you're breaking away from commodity at first. In this case was the business, and they've gone to the next level, where they have gone to where online they can now get you to fit their clothes and see how it fits. And you can invite your friends while you are online to make comments. Hey, this, especially for women, this color doesn't quite like it. Or even the perfume or dressing up. So it's really finding a way, how do you become different? In that mama puts, it might just be the smile. It might just be it might even be thank you. And I find that the distinguishing things are small things. I told you the hotel business, there are so many hotels in Abuja. Just sending me an email when I typed, when I left, and said, we are happy you are here. Is there anything we could have done different that would have enhanced us? In Nigeria, if I received it here, it's no big deal. But receiving it before I went to my next stop, it was actually an uncle that took me to the place. I called him and said, next time, remember that place, I'd like to go visit it back. I would say it's really customer service. Sometimes it could also be, if you are all lined up, can you make your space a little cleaner? Because those mama put thing and that crap, it's everywhere. Can you make it a little cleaner? It's little things that can make you get out of it. Obviously, the prayer and God leading them your way. The one God leads them your way, try to retain them.
Thank you very much. Is it okay to
Yes.
go to...
So I asked Dr. Joseph Annie to come in and summarize our thing by going, give us key things on how you actually register, because I want you to think about this business, and if God places it on your heart, I want you to move towards doing something.
And on that note, I've asked Dr. Tosin Olachidoye to introduce the next speaker.
So most of us from the ATF know Reverend Dr. Ali as the man who puts us to order many times as our compliance officer. But I was just looking through his bio and I'm just amazed at all his talent. So I'm going to read it out to you. Dr. Joe Annie, PhD. He's a dynamic, resourceful, and intellectual leader. He's a human capital expert. He's a mentor, coach, and a facilitator. Dr. Annie is one of those minds who believe that leadership is honed in open door policy, leadership development, integrity, transparency, and financial literacy. Dr. Annie has over 30 years of comprehensive experience in leadership training, non-profit organization, cultural integration, and human capital development. He also accounting, financial management, and business consulting services. He's the president and CEO of Janik Business Group and branch manager for Acceptance Capital Mortgage Corporation. He's also the secretary, board of directors, in the Institute for National Transformation. He's the founder and CEO of Light of Hope Outreach, a non-profit organization. Dr. Annie has earned the prestigious former Governor Sonny Perdue Citation for Community Service. He currently serves on 2 professional governing school boards as treasurer, that's Chamberlain Charter High School, and the CAP Academy of Technology and Environment. Dr. Annie holds NCE and BSc in Accounting, in Economics, and Education. He has an Executive Certificate in Transformational Leadership. He has an MBA in Accounting and a PhD in Global Leadership and Organizational Management. He has a passion for process improvement and performance. Please, let's welcome Reverend Dr.
Thank you very much. And I think you have about 15 minutes, and I promise you'll be out there by 4. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Adiele, for giving me this opportunity. It's difficult to follow the steps of Adiele, and I'm not going to try to do that. I have been in business for years. I've worked in the corporate world before I decided to go full-time on my own in 2004. Basically, I'm not going to take time trying to tell you what I've done or what I've not done, but I will be specific to types of businesses if you want to go into any business. We've heard everything that our elder Dr. Adiele has been giving us. Now I presume we are ready and we want to move forward. And everyone is interested in starting a business. And what happens when you do your own business is that you pay yourself first before you pay IRS. You decide how much you want to give them. But if you are working for somebody, your own paycheck, they will tell you how much they're going to pay you. So you make the decision. There are different types of organizations, and I call it acquisitions. The first one is sole proprietorship. And if you want to go into a sole proprietorship, you are putting yourself into serious risk. One, everything you have, your house, your bank account, no matter where it is, if you get into any legal issues, you are in trouble. They are all gone. Because if the other person gets a judgment, they will come after you, after your house, and after your bank account. And they can leverage it, and they can take it. Now with that, you can also protect yourself by leaving your personal belongings by itself and let it stay. And these are the different types of organizations that gives you legal backing in whatever you want to do, whereby nobody can come after your personal belongings, but they can sue the business, and it's only limited to whatever the business has, and that's by incorporating or registering it. I'm going to be specific with Georgia, because that's where most of us live. The first one is limited liability. It's a newer type of business that gives you full protection into whatever you want to do and how you want to run your business. There are also tax implications. The next one, under the LLC, you have a single member LLC, you also have a multiple member LLC. If you are by yourself, the sole owner of that business, and you apply to IRS for EIN number, that's employer identification number, it is classified as a sole proprietorship in terms of you single member, but you still have the legal backing of that business. That means if somebody sues you, it's not you, it's suing the business. You are just helping the business to move forward. It's not you. However, you also have to separate the business undertakings from your personal undertakings. But if you have more than one person in it, it is called multi-member LLC. So when you apply for EIN number after you've registered it, then the first question they're going to ask you is it a single member or multi-member? And you need to understand that before you even call IRS or you apply online. And once it is classified as a multi-member LLC, your tax classification changes. The single member you file Schedule C, which transfers into your 1040. With multi-member LLC, you file 1065, which is partnership. And that partnership, you get K1, which you roll into your own personal tax return. The other one is partnership. Now, there are 3 clauses that I always tell people when they want to go into partnership. Who do you go into partnership? Do I know you? Can I trust you? Do I like you? If you cannot answer these 3 questions, it's difficult to go into any kind of partnership with anybody. Do I know you? I can explain that if you have any personal question on that. Do I like you? Do I trust you? So you don't go into any partnership with anybody without first of all answering that question within you and by yourself. You have general partner, you also have limited partner. The general partner is responsible liable to the full extent of his or her personal belongings as far as the business is concerned, even though there are some protections. But the limited partner is only conveyed to that extent of contribution the person has in that business. The next one is S corporation and C corporation. These two are sometimes very confusing. And people sometimes, they go in, they say, I want to be Inc. The moment you register a business with Inc. or Corp, it is classified as a C corporation. And you will be required to file Form 1020. The problem there is, this is a double jeopardy, we call it in taxes, taxation. What do I mean by double jeopardy? The business makes a profit, the business pays tax. You take your dividend, you also pay additional tax. That's double jeopardy. How do you avoid that? Once you go, and you're going to find the same tax return like Microsoft, all those big dues, the same tax form you're going to file. The way to avoid that is once you file, you incorporate, you file Form 5555. It's a form with IRS requesting to be treated as an S corporation. That secludes you from that type of double jeopardy, paying taxes twice on any profit the business makes. In all these types of organizations, it's open. For S and C, you're required to file monthly and quarterly returns. But let me go back to LLC. If it's an LLC and you're the owner, you cannot put yourself on W-2. You cannot. You can only take draws. But there are systems in place where if you want to do that, you can do what we call conversion. The next one is the blueprint. You want to go into business, you have to have some strategies. First of all, in incorporating in Georgia, you have to have the business name. First of all, you search and be sure that it's not in existence. If it's in existence and it's a business name you like, what you can do is you can put a letter or a word and it changes that name. So you can have two same businesses but with a significant imputation of a word or a letter and it changes it and it makes it a different business type. But if it's Inc. and you're changing it to another to LLC, it's not going to happen. So there has to be a significant name change. Word or letter. Then you submit it, you can do it online or you can do it in person. With articles of incorporation, if you want to do it online as a standard form, you just key the information, you post it, You pay for it online, you're going to get your certificate of incorporation. If you want to do it in person, or you want to make changes or have added information to protect yourself, distinct from what they have online, then you can also have it prepared. Then, once you're getting ready to submit or you're about to submit, there are different payment methods, depending on how you want how soon you want to receive your certificate of incorporation approval. I can walk into the corporation's office the same day, sit down 3 hours, 2 hours, and I could go home with my certificate of incorporation. It is called expedited or same-day service, and they're going to charge you $350. You want it in 3 days, it's going to be $200. You want it to follow the normal process, it's going to be $100, which means you could take 7 days, 30 days, and if there are issues, you could take more than that. But if you stand there, you come in, you wait, if there are issues, they correct it, you get it, you walk away. The last one in the process of that business registration is what we call fictitious name publication. How many of us have come to an altar in a wedding and said, if anybody has anything to say, so say now or forever, close your mouth. That's what fictitious name publication does. It gives information to the general public that this organization is about to incorporate. If you have any questions, any concerns, any issues, please let us know. It's $40. And you have to do it in the newspaper, in the county where the office is located. Now you ready? You want to move on? You have to have what I call C, which is cash. And when I say cash, I mean funding your plan and everything. So the first thing you need is you have to have a business plan. Then you also have to have a budget. Please, there are different types of budgets. People call budget. They have to be sure that you have a realistic budget that is also attainable. Not everybody is attainable. Not everybody is realistic. So it must be realistic and it must be attainable. If those two clauses are not there, it is not a feasible budget. So you also have financial control mechanisms. You have to have a bank. And when you talk of a bank, you want to talk of location. You can have your business office here and you want to have a bank in a bank, probably in a Stone Mountain. Sometimes I tell my clients, if you want to choose a bank, I'll be better off choosing a community bank where I can walk in, talk with the manager, I have a direct approach than going to a bigger bank. The next one is cash controls. You have to have cash control in place, policies and procedures. You also have to have, if you want to do merchant banking, decide on the credit card, whichever one you want to do. So, registering a business is as simple as, very easy, but it's also difficult. If you have any further questions in the area of business registration, accounting, financial policies, and others, I'll be available, or you can call Adiele. And if he needs me to help, I can always help. Thank you. I appreciate you very much.
Thank you, Brother Joe.
Other committees, I want to round up very quickly because he will tell me we're getting at 4. Yeah. We should, yeah. So this is what other communities do for others. And this is what I believe that ACF needs to be a platform to begin because that's part of our business statement. So I want to thank you for coming. Let me run through a few slides. Summarizing what I've talked about today is that one individual cannot, a tree cannot make a forest. You need to think about, as you're making business, who is going to be helping you and supporting you and being part of that team. And we've gone through examples of how that would happen. I want to share this slide to you. It really says where there is is the will. That is the will. You know, and you've seen this slide before. We are capable of putting our differences aside and get into truly thinking. You know, the dog and the cat, they fight a lot, but they can get together and get business done. It is possible when you can make that. That's what I want to leave you with. If there's that idea, that plan that I've been talking with, it is possible to make it happen. If you follow some of these steps that we're talking about today, if you now say, God, give me, that's what I believe we're doing. God, give legs to the prayers, to the vision, to the ideas that you have given me. And that business can be for-profit business or non-profit. Non-profit doesn't mean it doesn't lose money. Non-profit means that making economy is not the fundamental business, but they still, in fact, non-profit make money, but they invest it in other non-profit type of business. What we have talked about today, maybe you are trying to bring the foundation. What Bill Gates does with his foundation, he applies business principles. He applies outcome. He applies impact. It's just that the way he evaluates that for the foundation is different. The outcome they're looking for. It is still business principle. And I hope that you will take this and begin to think about who's going to be my partner. And I hope that SCF leadership can look at it, or our director of men's fellowship, and look at it and say, is it possible that we can expand and grow from our prayers and support of each other to begin to think about where are those business opportunities. I hope where is our women's fellowship, that she can look through and say, are there things that we could do to do that? When I was growing up, my mom, they called it akawo. You know, they collect money, susu, and they create it. In fact, when I was in Nigeria, there were young people that were building technology. They're in Calabar, in your state. They're in the incubation, where they want now to do susu on using technology-enabled environment. And we can come in and say, how do we raise the cash and the trust, maybe to be the angel investors outside of African Christian Fellowship, and enable ourselves so that when we are going on mission, we don't have to be passing money, and when you do, people are looking for their dollar that means the way, and they put dollar. And dollar doesn't really do the work that needs to be done. It requires good people. So that's really to work. But before I leave and give it back to Jide, I want to ask for your reactions. What do you learn? Maybe moderator, you can take that and close. But I'm done. I'm satisfied. I'm happy. But I'm saying to you, we can do more than what we have done. We are capable. Those ideas are all over the place. From peanuts and technology, to medicine, to fashion. We haven't even begun to talk about people in education. I want to challenge you. What's your response to some of the things that are happening? How can we use technology and our people in medicine? We cannot build all the hospitals, but can we do telemedicine? Where you still make decent money, but now reaching much more people. So, my brother, I'll turn it over to you, and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. At this point in time, I'll take one question because I'm going to give 5 minutes to Brother Godwin Okoro, and I still want to end 4 o'clock. So, if you have any question, you can let me know now. Otherwise, send your questions directly to the speakers today. Okay, any question from anybody? Good. At this point, I call the panelists to please rise, and let's just give them another round of applause. Chief, thank you very much on behalf of ACF. I just say thank you very much. And we might come again another time. Hopefully, you will answer our call. And thank you very much. You can sit down. Can we just rise again and give a round of applause to Brother Adiele Nwankwo. Thank you very much. We appreciate your time. Thank you. Okay, you can see there. Where's Brother Joanie? Where is he? Okay, can we give him a round of applause? I'm sure he's hearing us. Oh, okay. Thank you very much. You can all sit down now. There's a question for Brother Joe. I just need to answer this question within 30 seconds. It says, can you start a business entity, then convert it to another business entity? For example, change a single member LLC to multi-member.
Yes.
Yes, thank you very much. I hope you got an answer. So at this point in time, can I call on, what's the time? 3:48. Brother Godwin, you have the 5 minutes.
Thank you very much. Wow, for all the panelists, everyone that has contributed to the success of this seminar today, may the Lord bless you. Amen. In particular, I want to thank our brother Adiele for picking this up and organizing it, and just calling everybody and setting things in motion. And how can I say enough thank you to Dr. Adiele? This is just a new trend, a new area that we're going into. And I want to thank you again. On behalf of the Supreme Court of African Christian Fellowship, thank you. May God continue to bless you, sustain you, and reward you for all that you do. Because this is kind of seminar that will cost a lot of money to go to send the younger ones. But here in Atlanta chapter, we're benefiting freely from this. And that is because we have the resources here, locally, in the Atlanta chapter. So we thank God. I wanted those of you that were at the South Region Conference, Lord Israel was sitting beside me. Lord Israel was. So we have two giant speakers, Dr. Latidoye and Dr. Adiele, that really enlightened everyone at the South Region Conference. And I was pinching Lord Israel to make sure he understood that they are from Atlanta chapter. So what are you going to do about it? Yeah, he tried to twist it. That it wasn't, anyway, we thank God. This is our chairman. So the chairman is the chairman of all the ACF chapters. I want to use this opportunity to talk to you guys, the younger ones, the teens. And I don't know why I mentioned his name at the beginning, not knowing that he was going to present. I didn't know that. But he looks like a very sharp young man. That was what caught my eyes and attention in the morning. And you also being part of this, and that's why I asked the question. They've already patterned their business, and that is good. So please come and help others. We have younger ones in the African Christian Fellowship. We need you, like I said in the morning. Part of what we are doing is a new direction that we are going into the African Christian Fellowship. We will still meet, study the Bible, sing songs, and do all the other things that we've been doing, but we also need to innovate. Look at other directions to go. Look at all the young adults, young ones that came today. We've been doing different programs, and we don't capture this number of young adults. We want this to continue. Maybe we'll look into that the next time. Look into, because when you were talking, some of the things that you mentioned, did you capture when he will give an example of people that came to talk to him about their business, and he will ask this question and that question and that question? It takes understanding. So maybe we can delve into that a little bit more. I wrote them down and said, how to understand critical questions to ask about a specific business. How to conduct critical research or specific research to gain some common sense awareness. Because that's why he's able to ask somebody those questions that either run them off or make him decide whether to be part of it. It's a skill that we all don't have. Otherwise, when they just tell you that, come, let's do this transportation, you just give your money and jump in without being able to ask those critical questions. So maybe that's something else to explore later. Then understanding financial statements could be another area we can look into. Understanding financial statements. When you look at a financial statement of a corporation, what is it that you're looking into? What are some of the key items that you will pick out to know whether to invest in that company or not? So, saying this to say, our young adults or young professionals, be around, come around, and be part of what we are doing, and help us to correct where we are not doing right. We want to open it up. You will not say anymore in Atlanta chapter that you're not being given the opportunity to contribute or do some things. Every quarter we give one day for you guys. It's Michael will say, okay, we give for you guys to run the fellowship, do different things. We want that because you are the leaders of tomorrow. In the African Christian Fellowship, you are the leaders of tomorrow. Maybe in Nigeria, you'll be leaders of next tomorrow, but here you are of tomorrow. God bless you, and please continue to come around. We meet, like I said earlier, the first and third Saturdays of each month at 6 o'clock. We want to see all of you. For those of you that have not received this pamphlet, it gives